analytics are pretty clear. I follow James check on chain, and
Mm-hmm.
it's pretty clear that the long-term holders have exited positions to the extent like they can lock in billion-dollar gains, like right on, great trade. Like
Yeah.
you've locked in
Who
generational
are we
wealth
to
for
say
like
no? Yeah.
your entire bloodline for the next,
uh,
millennia. Uh, Great trade.
yeah.
Um, and
And if I didn't sell
so,
all of it either, it was like I'm gonna sell a portion
yeah,
of it and lock these in for now. Uh,
right. So, and maybe that goes other places. Maybe that goes into leverage plays, and maybe
mhm.
it goes into altcoins or just different
Yeah.
locations. But one thing that I'm incredibly bullish about is that the price hasn't moved much. Like
Hmm.
we've seen 80,000 coins liquidated,
Yeah.
and we're still above 100K, and that happened like just a couple weeks ago.
Hmm.
I mean, Germany sold 50,000 coins on 4th of July last year, and the price went from like 70,000 to 55,000 in like 2 to 3 days, and everybody was running around with their head cut off. And like it's just like we're just in a much better place right now, and the market's ability to eat up this capacity is just insane, to be honest.
Yeah.
um, and I feel pretty confident about the future from that perspective, because it's going from weak hands from like maybe an individual or an estate or something to a corporation that's literally viewing this as a centuries long worth of a treasury to hold on a balance sheet.
Do you see it like in saying all that? Does it feel like because it feels like from someone who's amateur looking at all the numbers and looking at everything that you look at, it feels like a base is set to your point of it's wild how the price really hasn't moved that much, and it's just it feels like you're building a really good base of, like you said, of absorption where people are absorbing that Bitcoin that's coming on the market. We've had some of these little events where or big events where 80,000 are coming on the market, or Germany, like you noted. So it feels like there's a really good base being sent, a launch pad where where I don't know, does retail ever come back in, and that's the launching point, we're launching from here, or is there something else, these other entities are going to come in, other global liquidity pools, sovereigns, you name it, that are coming into that? Like, is that how you kind of see it, where like, hey, we're setting this launch pad here where clearly we've had some of these events where if people were going to sell out, they would have sold out to a large extent, and they haven't.
Yeah,
We've been about a
yeah.
is that yeah. Okay.
That's definitely how I see it. Is we've had just in the last couple of days, I think two of the largest long liquidation days
Yeah.
in of 2025. So
Hmm.
to that extent, like wiping out any leverage on those exchanges is certainly bullish for like establishing a new base, like a clean base with no leverage, ready to set new all-time highs. Um, so I definitely see it that way. The other just main thing I keep in the back of my mind is like uh, there's just not, people think that there's a lot of leverage in the system, at least like with Sailor and the Bitcoin treasury companies and stuff, but there's really not. Like this isn't like at least the Bitcoin treasury like equities, and maybe there's just more outstanding derivative leverage out there that's just getting wiped out, and that's quite possible. But it's just like in the fundamental equation, there's just not a ton of leverage on like balance sheet leverage. It's funny. I've seen a couple of the posts like trying to slam dunk on Sailor's premium or the strategy premium, the multiple to net asset value declining, and like the story being dead. It's like, well, they've hardly got any leverage on the balance sheet, and they just introduced these new products to the market that have never existed before, that are disrupting a $300 trillion market, and they have better attributes than every other fixed income instrument ever created. And like it's like you're like you're bearish here, and it's just, it doesn't make any sense. It's going to take forever for the market to figure these things out, but I don't really care. I've got I've got a horizon that I feel really comfortable with, and I've taken a long term view on Bitcoin for a very long time. So I'm here for the long run.
Yeah. Yeah. Same. And that's, the revolutionary in me. sees it as the die on the hill. Yeah, there is no going back for me. I don't know how there's a going back
Yeah.
for society at this point. I mean, truly, I don't.
That's out of the bag.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, the cat's out of the bag, toothpaste out of the tube, whatever analogy you want to throw at it. The answer's there, and it just feels like there's gonna be a couple % of people that get it and really grok it, and then like pull everyone else across the finish line. And like you said, it's gonna be
Yeah.
a long time horizon ish. I mean, at least 10 or 20 years it looks like from my angle minimum, just because of demographics, stuff like that. So I don't know what you think. I mean, like
Yeah.
I see the demographic shift being the big catalyst in my eyes, right?
Yeah.
In the next 10, 20 years.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Yeah. The demographic shift is a big one. And I said this on our live stream the other day. It's like, okay, explaining to somebody to put Bitcoin in cold storage is like, I think it's a simple transaction, but it's actually,
Right.
it's complicated for a lot of people.
Once you know it's simple.
Yeah. But you gotta get them to sit down and do it.
Yeah.
And like do something that is just weird, and they've got to learn. Like there's friction associated with that. And I said this on the stream. It's like, okay, take the most average person you've ever met, and then recognize, or just like imagine the most average person in America, 50th percentile, and then just know that 50% of America is dumber than that. And like that's like those are the hurdles that we got to get over, right? Like that, just the math and like the numbers behind it. So it's a bit tricky. So like it's doable, but you've got to provide things to them in a way that's easier to consume. So the advancement of the ETFs coming out to the market, the advancement of these Bitcoin treasury companies offering equity, and now this, digital credit. And I think the digital credit is this huge landscape that in my mind is like, this is the kick the door wide open sort of thing that happens over the next 4 to 6 years, maybe 8 years, 4 to 8 years, where you've got a large part of the population that's approaching retirement right now with the baby boomer generation. Mm-hmm. A large portion of them are living off retirement accounts that are primarily constructed of bond portfolios, and those bond portfolios have a decent amount of risk. They've got duration risk, they've got interest rate risk, they've got liquidity risk, and all of those different, like the amalgamation of all of those different risks across a large portfolio of just constructed of bonds is tricky. Like that, to me, is a blatantly obvious spot for disruption. And like, I'm just imagining a scenario like all these boomers get to like age 80 and like 20 years from now, and half of the bonds go bust because technology just disrupts half of your bond portfolio. AI disrupts half of your bond portfolio. What do you do? Like you're anticipated living off this bond portfolio, and what if 10% of them are worthless? That's a crisis, let alone 20, 30, 40%. And so like you have to replace that, or you have to have a hedge that can provide you this like technology. It's effectively like a technology hedge that's providing you additional yield with less risk. And that's kind of been my recent mission, is this like explanation of this risk profile and trying to wrap your head around like these instruments that strategies created. It seemed too good to be true. What's the catch? Where's the pie in the face? It's like, well, there's not a catch. There's not a pie in the face. These are actually less risky. They're way over collateralized. They're not dependent on future cash flows. If there's debasement in the currency, the asset that's backing these instruments is going to grow drastically, which makes them even stronger. And the experience is going to get better over time as well. It's like one of the reasons these are priced so attractive is because they're brand new. There's no track record. But once these have a track record 2, 3, 4, 5 years, there's a larger number of people that will be able to purchase them and put them into their portfolios. So I really think this is like this is the biggest idea. This is the best. This is the frontier that people need to be focused on. But this message is even harder to communicate than it's harder to communicate than the money's broken. It's like, well, the money's broken and the bonds are broken, the capital markets are broken. They need these new pieces of technology to help them. So that's what we're working on. We're trying to fix the fixed income market and fix the bond problem, fix the credit problem, and make the world a better place.
If you like that clip, then you definitely got to check out this next spicy clip. I think you're really going to like it. Come on, check it out. But if you want the full version, the full interview, then check that out over here. Come on, do it. I'll see you in there.